Behold, the Princess Endeavor Hotel.
It's time to move on.
We shouldn't stay here.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see. Then
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this.
please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial sea, but what is it?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon? Wow. This is the first time that we've ever heard of it.
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though, with her time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epiclese. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memornia.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right, you've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped. We've been walking around for a while now. Why don't we go back to the Spina di Rosula base in the court of Fontaine and have a rest? Navia said something about having a place ready for us there, didn't she? Come on, let's go!
I do hope the
mysterious disappearances case has been solved, no one's going to come after us for anything. Even without Silver standing guard, we can just completely relax. Why don't we stay and rest up here for a while? Even machines in Fontaine need to stop and recharge now and then. Oh, come on! This place isn't that bad. Besides, how often do we get to stay in an action... Oh, fine. Remember that detective story Paimon read before? Well, the author is about to release a new book, so Paimon wanted to buy it as soon as it came out and have a quiet place to read it. Yippee! Then it's agreed. Come on, let's get some sleep. We'll need to be up first thing in the morning to get in line and buy a copy. Paimon didn't expect that style at all. Even though it's a detective novel, it's also like a social documentary. Whew. It's actually pretty good. No! Paimon just spends a bit more time sleeping than you, that's all.
Excuse me, but do you know if the Traveler and Paimon are lodging here?
Huh? Who are you? Paimon doesn't recall seeing you before. Wait, you're not here to give us trouble, are you?
A blonde traveler and a chatty little fairy. Phew, looks like I found the place. Good thing I asked the Spina di Rosula. Seems they sent me the right way.
Hey, what do you mean by chatty? Paimon's always careful not to talk too much. Most of the time, anyway.
It's an honor to meet you both. I was sent from the Palais Mermonia. Monsieur Nourillet wishes to see you. It seems he has something important to discuss in person.
Nourillet? He wants to see us again already? Huh. We talked so much the last time we met. Has something happened since then?
I am not privy to the details. It would be best if you came to the Palais Mermonia and asked Monsieur Nourillet in person.
If you say so, but Paimon has a bad feeling about this.
Now that I've delivered the message, I'll take my leave.
Thanks! We haven't left the room for a few days, so we'll head over once we've freshened up a bit. Huh? Why were you just standing there? You daydreaming, or
Yes, I did send someone to fetch you. But as for what I'd like to discuss next, well, I still have some reservations.
Given that we've already made the trip here, you should just tell us. Bet you need us to help you with something, right?
I do indeed have something I'd like to ask you to do. However, you should wait until after I tell you the details, then decide for yourselves whether you'd like to help or not. The situation is this. If I'm understanding you correctly, the Snezhnayan harbinger known as the Knave has essentially requested a diplomatic meeting with you, correct? I heard that she was originally from Fontaine, but for her to suddenly arrive here and abruptly request such a meeting like this, I sincerely advise you to refuse her invitation outright. I'm sure you're aware that her purpose is most likely related to Child's recent predicament. We convicted one of the Snezhnayan harbingers in a court of law, but we have yet to provide any form of detailed report on the matter. This does indeed provide an opportunity for Snezhnaya to put pressure on us. I believe we should adopt an evasive stance until we can provide a proper explanation and have a preliminary plan on how to deal with the matter.
No, we shouldn't. I think we should agree to the meeting.
Oh?
Well, you see, we are the ones that owe an explanation. If we keep putting off the meeting, it could easily result in the problem escalating, right? It's like a fight between two friends. If they don't agree to see each other and talk in person, isn't it possible that the friendship could end entirely?
Though diplomatic relations between Fontaine and Snezhnaya could be considered as friendly, it is only superficially so. You wouldn't go so far as to say that our nations are friends, as you did in your example.
It was just an analogy. An analogy, okay?
Moreover, even if we were to talk in person, if we don't have sufficient information prepared, it is quite possible the result wouldn't be restored relations, but a complete falling out.
I don't think we should overthink those possibilities yet. Even if the logic of the divine is not immediately apparent, its wisdom will only be revealed with time. Besides, you'll be at the meeting. If any problems do pop up, you'll have no problem navigating them.
I must clarify that interacting and communicating with people outside of court is not my cup of tea. It seems you think too much of me. But more importantly, when did I agree to join the meeting with you?
You mean you won't come? No, that won't do. I can't go to the meeting alone. You have to accompany me. I must take you with me.
Lady Farina, could there be something else regarding this matter that is being kept from me?
No, not at all. Look, I am the Hydro-Archon of Fontaine, Focalor, the god of justice who is loved and adored by many. So I only hope that justice will be served in this matter. Don't overthink it. I'll go find someone to arrange the meeting.
Though it could officially be considered a diplomatic conference, I prefer to see our meeting today as an ordinary tea party. I assume you see it the same way, Miss Farina? Lady Farina?
Yes, that's right. Just like you said, a tea party. I should thank you for providing the pastries. They look delectable. To make this tea party even more lively, I've invited someone else to join us today.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Monsieur Neuvillette. I was born in Fontaine, so naturally, there's no need to introduce the nation's revered Eudex to me.
Hello. The pleasure is also mine.
First, I would like to thank the two of you. I'm often away on business outside of Fontaine, and I'm told that the children of the House of the Hearth have been well taken care of by you. Oh, I'm not referring to when my children, Linny and Lynette, were falsely accused by you. Please don't misunderstand. The children of the House of the Hearth are often misunderstood, perhaps due to the reputation of the Fatui. There's no getting around that. All I meant to say is that Fontaine has been stable in recent years. The people are well off and that.
Now then, you have come regarding the matter of child, correct?
Well, yes. It appears the ever-busy Eudex Nouvillette doesn't wish to waste time with diplomatic pleasantries, and hopes that we can get straight to the point of our talk. Yes, as you surmised, understanding child's situation is indeed one of the goals of this trip. As we are both diplomats from Snezhnaya, as well as Fatui harbingers, Child and I have always been colleagues. Were anything to happen in Fontaine, each of us would serve as the other's attorney to resolve the issue. So now, in my capacity as his attorney, I request that Child be turned over to Snezhnaya. We have a responsibility to cooperate with Fontaine and resolve what has happened to him together.
The rules governing attorneys only apply before a trial has concluded. Since a verdict has already been rendered, we see the case as settled. I apologize for being unable to grant your request.
An outright refusal. Very well. I respect all the rules of Fontaine's courts, just as I respect you as Chief Justice. Okay, why don't we back up a step? You don't need to transfer Child to us. I only request to enter the fortress of Meripede to see Child and confirm his condition. It's not like you couldn't even manage to fulfill a simple request like that. Right, Miss Farina?
About that.
The fortress of Meripede has always been completely autonomous. Even we have no authority to interfere there, and diplomatic issues do not suffice as an excuse. However, if you absolutely must confirm the situation of the Harbinger, I have a proposal.
The knave showed up already? Well, Linny did say that Father will be returning soon. We didn't even know that Linny was from the House of the Hearth at the time, so we kinda overlooked that information.
Yes, thank you for your kind advice. I'm well aware of the situation. I also noticed that Lady Farina acts a little odd and unnatural whenever I bring up matters related to the knave.
Could the knave be threatening Lady Farina or something?
If that were the case, then why wouldn't Lady Farina inform me? And what means could the knave possibly have to twist the arm of an Archon?
So maybe that's not very likely. Even though Farina can act a little weird at times, she's still an Archon.
In reality, this problem is even more thorny than it appears. According to reports from the fortress of Meripede, Child recently disappeared under mysterious The details are still unclear. We cannot rule out an escape, but there have also been no reports of him outside of the fortress of Meripede. Special guards oversee the fortress, and its internal systems are extensive. Combined with the special characteristics of the surrounding terrain, an escape should not be possible. I suspect that there's something else behind Child's disappearance. I was only willing to share this information with you because you are friends of Child, and it is my duty to see justice done.
So this is what you wanted to see us about before.
Yes. I would like you to go to the Fortress of Meropide and investigate Child's disappearance. This was my proposal during our meeting with the Knave. Rather than allowing her to intervene, I offered to send someone to find out about Child's situation and report back to her in detail. The Knave did not seem satisfied by my proposal, but she still agreed to go along with it for the time being. Her words were, "We will talk more once we have that report."
So that means we bought ourselves some time.
Firstly, you're already acquainted with Child. Your eyes may discern relevant details there that others would miss. And secondly, is the consideration of the unique...
Isn't it just Fontaine's prison?
I would not define it so crudely. The Fortress of Meropide is not affiliated with the court system of Fontaine on paper. It has always existed as an autonomous entity. Early in Fontaine's history, criminals were punished with exile, not imprisonment. Even today, sentences against convicted criminals still include exile, just as before. The fortress... All we do is dispatch guards to keep watch and help maintain security, but we have no right to get involved with any other matters. Although I do have a personal relationship with the administrator there, neither myself nor the courts have the right to be directly involved with the investigation, no matter how serious the grounds.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. That's why you need us to conduct our own investigation as a third party, right?
Correct. I will arrange false charges against you so that you may secretly investigate inside the fortress during your detention. This will save us a lot of unnecessary trouble. So, are you two willing to accept my proposal?
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, it seems we're the best choice. All right, we hereby accept this difficult task. Reluctant.
You two have my sincere thanks. This matter is of critical importance to Fontaine's current situation. Also, I hope that both of you can keep this operation a secret. We will rendezvous at the Fortress of Meropide's entrance on Irenaeus once you've prepared yourselves. I will arrange for someone to take you inside.
Prepared ourselves? Is there something we need to prepare?
Perhaps you could enjoy a good meal and have a nice bath. I'm afraid that living conditions inside the fortress are nothing like those on the outside world.
All right! Even though we'll be there on trumped-up charges, we'll be in prison for real. On second thought, is it too late to back out?
Please do not worry. Since you are sacrificing both your time and quality of life for the sake of delivering this report, you will be compensated according to the highest standards permitted to legal staff, regardless of the outcome.
Now that's more like it! Come on, traveler, let's go eat the best meal we can find! We'll eat so much that we won't need to eat another meal for a whole month! Your treat!
Are you leaving now? In that case, please take this cake as a token of my personal gratitude.
That cake was pretty good. But as soon as Paimon remembered that we're about to go to prison, Paimon's stomach suddenly became completely empty. Now that Paimon thinks about it, we've always been super careful ever since we arrived in Fontaine, just to avoid breaking any strange laws here. But here we are, about to willingly send ourselves off to the Fortress of Mirapede. Maybe this is what they call fate. Let's just try our best to investigate everything quickly once we get there. Paimon doesn't want to stay in prison too long.
Oh, what is that I hear? Is it the taste of a breaking story?
Hey! You can't hear a taste! And what are you doing here, Charlotte?
Oh, don't remind me. I invited an eyewitness to a case to eat here, and I was planning to get some great material out of him. But he didn't even show up. Calm down, calm down. This is nothing new. As a journalist, you should be used to this by now. As long as you can score some juicy tidbits from the traveler, you might still be able to recover the cost of the meal.
You know we can still hear you, Charlotte.
Never mind. It's nothing. I just heard you mention the Fortress of Mirapede. You didn't commit a crime, did you? Please tell me all about it.
No way! We would never! We're just going there to... Oh no, Paimon almost forgot that Neuvillette told us to keep it a secret!
Huh? You're being arrested for that? Oh. But now that I think about it, I suppose that's not completely unreasonable. That's pretty despicable. Almost as offensive as committing theft.
You mean Paimon really did something that serious? Sorry, Paimon really messed up.
In that case, it's nothing particularly newsworthy after all. Oh, how disappointing. All right, there's still a chance. Since you're going to be at the Fortress of Mirapede, would you be willing to help me gather some material for a story?
About that, Paimon doesn't think we'll have any time.
Oh, it's nothing difficult. All you have to do is think of a way to get some time face-to-face with the warden of the fortress. He was awarded the honorary title of Duke in Fontaine. Sounds really cool, huh? Only those who have made significant contributions to the nation have been conferred this title. It's incredibly rare. On top of that, the Fortress of Mirapede has never been under the jurisdiction of the courts. Practically nobody, including journalists like me, knows anything about the person in charge there. Oh, if I could write an exclusive article about him, I bet it would sell a boatload of papers.
You make it sound easy, but it really depends.
Of course, I wouldn't ask you to do it for free, so this meal is on me.
All right, you got a deal. We'll do anything you want.
Then it's settled. The food should be here any second, right? Huh? Wait, just how much did you order?
Oh, Paimon's so full. Well, guess we have nothing to regret now, so let's get going.
I had no idea you could eat so much. That didn't go according to plan. Please.
Wait. Paimon just said something really ominous, didn't she?
This coffee smells as good as ever.
You have come just as promised. Yes, this is the one and only entrance to the fortress of Meripede from Irenaeus. Careful. You may want to step back a bit.
Whoa! So you have to go down from here? Is the prison underwater?
Utilizing both the barrier of the water as well as the fear humans have of the depths, the fortress of Meripede is naturally the perfect place to confine. But do not worry. It is not nearly as frightening inside as you may think. You will see for yourselves once you are down there.
Paimon hopes you're right. Don't know about you, but just thinking about being at the bottom of the sea like that gives Paimon the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, and there's one more thing. I mentioned that I have had personal dealings with the administrator of the fortress, Wriothesley. He's a very shrewd fellow.
Yeah, we heard about him too. He's that Duke, right?
Correct. He is the highest-ranking manager of the underwater prison. Even though you are going there to investigate at my behest, it would behoove you to avoid any confrontation with him or any of his subordinates. The Duke rarely ever leaves the fortress of Meripede, but that does not mean he is not privy to all that is happening inside and outside the fortress. He is quiet, but not unaware, so please bear that in mind. All right, that's about all the time that we have to talk privately. I'm counting on you two.
Don't worry, we won't let you down.
Good. Madeline!
I'm here, Monsieur Nervalet. These two are the newest convicts, I presume? Don't worry, they won't escape on my watch.
Like we would try.
Please follow me, you two. I'll process your paperwork for entering the Fortress of Meripede.